Hi, this is Dana, and in this video, I will talk about what to expect in the year that just started in 2022. And because the previous video was about higher perspective, I will try to sort of apply that paradigm so we can look at the upcoming year from a perspective which God has been guiding. Now, the basic thing is that expectations are very important. They determine your state of mind. They can be your worst enemy. If you have very high expectations and you don't understand the dynamic at play, you are exposing yourself to vulnerability and being disappointed and emotional about it. So this is very important to have a clear understanding. Perceptions are the result of programming. So you have certain perceptions according to your belief system, according to what you have been taught or accustomed of seeing, for example, in a couple. If you expect to have romantic relation coming to you, and you have certain expectations about how that a couple should look like, or how that romance should look like, you might be disappointed if that perception and expectation doesn't match the reality surrounding you. So higher perspective is very important, is rooted in deep understanding of the root causes and circumstances surrounding you, deep understanding of your purpose. For example, you might have a special purpose, and the type of connections you have might not match the traditional perception and expectation that you have about romance, for example. Maybe your couple is meant only to meet and break bondage. I give you just one example randomly. But if you expect that couple to transform into a romantic relation, you'll be disappointed. This is why deeper understanding is important in order to have a higher perspective. Um, because it allows you a higher perspective, it allows you to place everything in a different paradigm, which helps you understand things which from a certain perspective would only hurt you. um, the basic of our existence here now in 3D at this point is that we came here to break bondage. We came here to heal and to ascend. This is why we came. We didn't come to have the 3D life of romance, marriage, children, a 9 to 5 job or business or whatever. This is not why we came. This was programming. We came here to break bondage, to heal, and to ascend. Now, it is true at the same time that God always told me that love is extremely important, and all other abundance gifts come with love. Yeah, with a love relation between a man and a woman. But then this is the ideal, 5D ideal. But we are not there. We are still in the phase of breaking bondage, healing, and ascending, which essentially means spiritual fighting. So when we talk about what should 2022 bring to us, then we have to keep this in mind. Yeah. Um, if you keep if you keep an eye on a higher perspective, and you try to see everything in your life from a higher perspective, it will be much easier for you to achieve your purpose. Um, you'll understand the dynamic at play. You'll understand better the players that come to you and you're involved with. But this means that you have to redefine terms. You need to understand from a different perspective, from a higher perspective, what options or different alternatives you have for a divine masculine, for a divine feminine, for a twin flame, for karmics. You have to understand from totally different perspective, because I keep hearing people talking about divine masculine is coming to divine feminine. I said in previous videos, many of them are counterfeit. um, Many of them, even if they meet you, they are in a different stage of fighting. The purpose in this phase might be for you only to meet and to learn what bondages are made on you. It might be detrimental to each side of the couple to actually pursue a relation, a romantic relation, if you are not at the proper time. Because essentially, any romantic relation brings to the um, for to the brings at play emotions. Emotions, as you know, are very detrimental in spiritual fighting. So it might be very difficult for you to do spiritual fighting if you engage romantically, okay? Because you just open yourself, opening you. It's part of the healing to heal your heart chakra, your soul chakra. It's important to love and to open energetically. At the same time, if you're doing spiritual fighting, keep in mind. So if you have strong attacks coming at you, keep in mind that opening makes you vulnerable to attacks. Okay. I already gave videos, posted videos about silent meditation, how to close your mind, how to close your energetic space, light body meditation, kundalini to clean up. Well, you must understand that being in a traditional couple, romantically involved, that essentially makes it difficult, if not impossible, really, to do spiritual fighting at the same time. So I'm pretty sure that nobody that really engages in spiritual fighting will be looking forward to have a romantic relation which opens that individual to vulnerability in a time when lots of attacks are being directed at one of the individuals in couple, or at both of them. Okay. um, so I think higher perspective might must is important to keep in mind. I will tell you one thing: higher perspective for me, it helped me in times of tremendous attacks, when I was dealing with different creatures and entities from underworld, which were sent to me by black magic, by sorcery, by necromancy, by all sorts of spells and incantations and summoning, and how they say that thing which they do, I don't remember. Anyhow, they do many things. So I encountered many spirits from underworld, um, and I learned things. I wrote on Facebook articles at the time, when I went through Horus Gate. That this is my dog, you guys, who's sleeping next to me. If you hear noises of snoring, this is my dog who fell asleep. No, mommy, no, baby, it's okay. No, mama, it's okay, it's okay, baby. Um, so so I even encounter spirits from underworld, and if you take the time to learn their story, for example, Jesus showed me at the time, because they were talking to me, the spirits were talking to me, so I engaged stupidly in discussions with them, not knowing enough about spiritual fighting at the time, which of course made it worse for me. But I learned about them. I asked Jesus, who is my guardian. So he accompanied me in this uh, phase of the attacks, and I asked him, how come these spirits are in underworld, how they got there, you know. And he showed me, for example, that some of them might even be um, spirits from individuals from your lineage which have been trapped in underworld, you know. So a higher perspective can show you different sides of the story, uh, and it can help you look at things differently. And he showed me that some of them were simply trapped by these crazy individuals who work with dark forces, break spirits, and then they trap the spirit of those individuals. The soul goes to God always, and they trap the spirits and they keep them hostage. They make sure the spirits are starved essentially, and then they task those spirits, they summon them, they own them, and they task those spirits to feed on you. So essentially, for that spirit, it becomes a survival thing, because it's tasked to feed on you. It's much more complicated than that, but this is just, I'm giving you a simple example so you'll understand that from a higher perspective everything looks differently. I spoke in previous videos about enemies. Namely, I was saying that everybody around you is an enemy and you have to look at it this way. But you also have to make the distinction. As I said, you're not looking at them and you're not judging and labeling them on soul level. Okay? You're looking at the package which is being presented to you as embodiment. And that particular time, it's being presented to you in a satanic possession, for example. That's an enemy. No matter if he's a soulmate from your lineage, it's your enemy in that type of package. But a higher perspective can mean that that karmic who's attacking you, that individual who's attacking you and who's possessed by Satan, might be a soulmate, might be a soul from your lineage, could be. It doesn't have to, but it could be. Who's been enslaved. Of course, you can go in deeper discussion and understand why was that soul enslaved. Because as long as you follow God and you don't make mistakes, nobody can enslave you to darkness, right? But that's not the point. The point is you're facing that individual and you're facing two different sides of the same story. Now, it's important for you, this can help you understand and carry on your fight, or it can drag you down. And I'll give you three types of perceptions over this particular situation, right? Where, let's say that a soul from your lineage comes to you in a karmic form, and is possessed by some type of darkness, being Satan, being any type of monsters or outer cosmos forces, right? So you can continue to fight. You can take it as it shows, and you can say, this is a possessed individual. The soul is with God. This individual, I must fight because I must win. If I win this spiritual fighting against this individual, I free myself. By freeing myself, I free the spirit of this individual, who is able, if he starts fighting with the help of God, to receive the soul back, to create an embodiment and carry on the fight. Okay? So you can look at it from this perspective. Position yourself as against an enemy and carry on your fight and walk away after you finished. Or another option is, you can have empathy for him, for that individual, and say, oh my God, this is a soul from my lineage. My God, what have they done to you? And this is going to be misplaced empathy, and is going to lead to entrapment, because that individual is being possessed by a darkness. The soul is not with him, the soul is with God. So the darkness will take advantage of you opening to him, and they will drag you down. Okay, so that's a totally different perception you can choose, and it will lead you to different result. Or another one, the third type of perception that you can lead and decision, is to take it personal and to say, what, you're my lineage, you're my soulmate, and you have done all of this harm to me, and you are attacking me even now as we speak, right? So if you take it personally, then again it makes you vulnerable, because it brings lots of emotions, negative emotions, and lowers your vibration, and it gives opportunity to feed on you. So I showed you one situation, just one situation. You can look at it from three different perspectives, and you can make your decision how you position yourself and what you do with or against that individual. To me, higher perspective is to understand that you're here for bondage breaking, spiritual fighting. See the package and the individual which is being presented to you as he is, namely being possessed by darkness, and fighting to break that bondage he creates on you, which automatically leads to an opportunity for that individual to carry on his fight. Okay. um, to me, this is the higher perspective in this time of ascension. All the others are just vulnerabilities, which don't help anyone. That's the point. You're not helping anyone uh, by embracing any other approach. If you want to feel like you're doing a good deed and you're helping that individual, it's your choice. But that is not an individual, that is a dark force. And if you don't understand that from a higher perspective and you don't detach, then you're going to pay the consequences. And in the end, you're not going to help that individual, to be clear. So, what is coming into 2022, from my point of view, more spiritual fighting will come. We entered in a phase where, of course, God keeps showing me. Of course, it's gonna alternate. If you already broke bondages and you ended karmic cycles, it's gonna end. This is gonna diminish the type of attacks coming at you. Um, Certain connections will be severed by divine justice, so they won't have that much power over you. um, you will start creating, you will receive rewards from God for your fight, you receive new gifts and so on, abundance. But you must know that those that you defeated are entering a karmic cycle, a karmic, not a karmic cycle, but actually are facing karma pay up, okay, which is not. So they will hunt you down, they will come after you trying to transfer that karma to you. So you won indeed, but it doesn't mean this ends, because they don't stop. Okay, some of them hopefully they go do redemption with God. But as I see around me, they don't stop. Most of them don't stop. So I expect, ex God keeps showing me, God keeps telling me, don't depress everyone. Just don't depress everyone. You keep pointing to problems. And I said, because I wished somebody would have told me about all of these problems when I started my spiritual fighting. I had nobody to tell me. I had nobody to tell me. Just I had God and Jesus to guide me. But many times, the guidance, of course, shows you different things, and you're at a different level of understanding. So some of the guidance is clear, is difficult to understand from because you need to evolve more to understand. So this is why I keep pointing to this. So God, again, right now, he's saying, tell them that also this alternates with rewards and with creation. So it does, but also it's true, but also spiritual fighting will continue. This is important for people to understand, because I know I expected many times that, okay, I broke this bondage, I'm done, thank God. And then before I woke up in the morning, it started again. I was like, what the fuck? I just finished. You said I finished. What is this? How would they attack again? And then God will show me, yeah, but they activated a different script. They activated a parallel lifetime timeline as you were sleeping. Oh, okay, thank you. So again, we're fighting, right? Again, yeah. So I experienced this for a long time. And to me, there was a lot of disappointment to see that it's never ending. So this is why I keep pointing this to everyone, so people will understand that there will be a transformation of the situation, but some things will still continue to come at you. You will start to create, you will move into a new phase indeed, in which you will start to create and to use the gifts you had before, and also the ones that are activated now. But also the spiritual fighting will be there. This is why I think we all need to redefine the terms of reference and the expectations we have, and to look at things with detachment from a higher perspective, to understand different faces of the same situation, but always in order to pursue our. I'm very much result oriented. So to me, it's like many times I tell God, I'm like, what's the outcome of this? I just want to know what's the outcome. And God says, well, there is a process. I know that, I know, but I want to know what's the outcome if I do this, and what's the outcome if I do the other one. I don't want to learn by hitting myself against the wall. So this is why I say that It is important to have detachment, to see different faces of the same problem or situation or individual, but to keep in mind that your purpose here is to break bondage and do spiritual fighting. So you would have a clear vision. Okay, I'm seeing different faces of the same situation or individual. I'm learning through that. Okay, but I must keep a straight line. I must walk the same path, because it's very easy to be diverted. And again, I keep emphasizing, if you get diverted, you get another 7 years of karmic cycle. Okay, you start again the same shit. So I think the risk is just too high. And again, I think this detachment must be the basis for a higher perspective over things, in which you look at the higher good when you make your decision. Like the example I gave earlier, the higher good for everyone is that we break bondage and we move from this phase, and we succeed to transmute enough darkness. There are, to me, um, I said, God, I told God once, I said, if I would be your boss in a 3D type of working relation, I would fire you, because I would expect outcomes, and I would expect results, concrete results. And there are so many things which are left open ended. And I understand this is a process in which we must learn. But at the same time, um, some progress must be made, and we must close some of these things. There are, for example, the twin flame issue. God has been talking to me about this twin flame issue since I started writing about prophetic, since I started writing prophetic writings on my Facebook. So 4 years now. 4 years I keep writing about this twin flame, and every time, every writing I did, it reflected the situation as it evolved or involved uh, 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 at certain time. So I keep saying to him, the timeline that you showed me, and the schedule that you showed me in the beginning is way behind. It's been 4 years, and still at this point in time, people did not progress enough to achieve what you were expecting them to do in 2019. Okay, this is not okay. I'm not okay with this. I'm not okay with this, and I'm not this patient. Um, I'm result oriented, and I want justice to be done. I kept telling him continuously throughout my spiritual fighting. I said, Jesus is my guardian in spiritual realm, and he's been next to me all my life, and he taught me much of my spiritual fighting. And whenever I don't feel comfortable with what God asks me to do, I always ask Jesus to help me to find a better solution, which is more adequate to my level of understanding, and my pace of progress at that point in time. And most times, Jesus finds different ways to help me achieve whatever I have to achieve in a different manner, which is feels more comfortable to me, and I can feel comfortable in doing it. So this is why I told God, I said, I am not Jesus. I I cherish Jesus and I love Jesus, of course. He's my guardian and he's my mentor. I keep asking him every time. But I am not Jesus. I am not doing sacrifice. I want justice. I want justice and I wanna win. So um, for this reason, I keep emphasizing, and my personal message is that spiritual fighting is still coming to you into 2022. New type of bondages in this phase you will come to the forefront, and you will learn about them. You will be called to break those. At the same time, individuals from previous karmic cycle which you ended will come after you, hoping to free themselves and transfer the karma to you. So this is gonna still be ongoing until we all fight and break enough bondage so we can move on a different stage. At the same time, God's message is that this will be alternated with gifts and rewards from God for the progress we achieved so far. Um, so, with this being said, I hope I didn't disappoint you about 2022. I hope God is happy that I also showed some positive things to come and rewards and so on. But I do wish that everyone understands how important it is to focus on breaking bondages, because this is the only thing that we can do in this phase, which can actually change things, which can change things. As I said before, healing and all of that is important, but it doesn't dramatically produce change, because all the attacks are coming due to bondages, existing bondages on you. So you heal now, and in 5 minutes, those attacks will start again. That is the problem. So if you break the bondage, though, um, then you eliminate the so-called legitimacy which they created with usurpatory powers, um, in order to be able to attack you. And again, I keep showing that while you do this for yourself, in any bondage, there are many, many individuals involved. So you breaking a bondage done on you, that automatically frees many people from your bloodline, from your lineage, and other people, just simply other people which are connected to you, or either in this lifetime or in previous lifetimes. So with this being said, I will wrap it up here. So I do wish you a good 2022, in which the rewards from God will give you happiness, joy, and still you will preserve the determination and the detachment to look at things from higher perspective, and keep a straight line doing your spiritual fighting, so we can all move on, from this phase. Okay, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel so we can make sure that the knowledge I'm sharing is reaching as many people as possible. Thank you.